Wedding photography is very demanding. You don't get a second chance, so it's important to get it right on the day. But of course, you can always improve on any image using Paint Pro. Our first task is to actually crop the image because we don't want these blue gates. They are a bit of a distraction. So let's choose the crop tool and move in on the left hand side here, and we're just going to crop to leave a bit of the bride's veil in, and we're going to take the gate out altogether on the right hand side, just as close to the gate as possible, and that looks okay to me, so I'm going to apply. We can now use the clone tool to remove the remaining parts of the gate, so we'll right click on that area there and we'll just paint out the gate, and only take a couple of seconds, being very careful not to go over the veil. And if we zoom in on the area, we can be very precise about that, and that should be just fine. The biggest challenge with any wedding photograph is to come up with something original and creative, so let me show you how to further enhance this picture. But first of all, I want to create a duplicate of this picture, so we'll go to Layers, Duplicate. This is made an exact copy of the bottom layer. I now want to change this to a black and white image, but yet I want to retain some of the colors in the flowers. So let's go to Effects, and we'll select Photo Effects, Black and White Film. And this opens up the black and white film dialog panel. It's a little bit bright there, so I'm going to turn the brightness down to about -21, and I'm also going to increase the clarify up to 25. Just gives me a little bit more detail in the picture. You can experiment by clicking on different colors and seeing what the overall effect is on the skin, but generally speaking, a light red orange should actually give lovely skin tones. We'll click OK. Now, of course, the easiest way to bring back in the color on the flowers is to use the eraser tool and then just erase from the monochrome layer, which is now going to reveal the underlying color layer. So you're basically knocking a hole inside the monochrome layer. This does have its drawbacks, because where I've gone over the skin tones here, there's no way of being able to bring this back. So I'm going to undo this and show you a better way of doing it. So we'll do Undo Eraser Brush. We'll go back up to Layers, and we're going to create a new layer mask, and we're going to select Show All. Now this has actually placed everything in one single group. We've got the black and white image there, we've got the layer mask above it, and it's all grouped together under this one group heading. So now if I select a brush, and if we look at the materials palette, we see that we've just got black and white selected here and a grayscale. So I'm going to select the black, and now all I need to do is just paint over with the black, which is in effect knocking a hole in the mask itself, and we just go over it the entire. Now the beauty of this method is, if like here I've gone over the skin tones, I can now just select the white brush and just paint back in again. So this is again just masking over the area which I knocked a hole in with the black brush. So now we go back to the black brush, and we can zoom in on this for a little bit more detailed work, and select the white brush and maybe just adjust the brush size down a little bit, just so we can pick out little details in there and remove parts of the skin tones that we wanted to retain. There we go, and that's looking okay to me now. Just a little bit more on there. We can just increase the brush size by holding down the Alt key and then just brushing over very rapidly there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of dark background in the as a backdrop, so we needn't be too precise on this particular image here, but that's looking okay. And I'm also going to go to the groom and give his little flowers a little bit of color. So there we go. It was as simple as that. There we've made our mask. The first thing we should do is actually save the file. So we go to File, Save As, and I'm going to save this in PaintShop Pro's and proprietary PSB format. This saves all the layers, so I can go back at any stage. We go save. Now once we've saved, I'm going to go back to layers, and I'm going to merge, and I'm going to flatten the entire image down. So everything's flattened into one layer. And again, repeating the process, I'm going to go to layers, and I'm going to duplicate this layer. Now what I want to do is actually give a little bit more isolation between the bride, the background, and also the groom. I want to bring him in so that both the focus is on the bride and the groom. So selecting the top layer, I'm going to go to Adjust, Blur, and I'm going to select Gaussian Blur. Now I'm going to give quite an extreme blur on this, something around about the 10 mark. There we go. And we'll click OK on that. So this has actually made it totally unacceptable in terms of picture. So what are we going to do about this? Well, we're going to use exactly the same technique as I used before. We're going to go to layers, and we're going to create a new layer mask, and we're going to show all. And now again, using your paintbrush and the black paintbrush, we're going to increase the brush size, hold down the Alt key, move your mouse pointer up, and now just paint out the bits you want to show to reveal. And don't worry about it being a little bit rough at this stage. You also want to bring the groom in so we've got nice, the pair of them are well isolated from the background. And of course I don't want the veil to be too soft on the edges, so what I can do is actually select one of the greys there and just bring the brush size down a bit and just bring in a little bit more soft, but not quite as soft as pure black on there. So that's just brought it in, and just make sure that the face stays nice and sharp. So we bring that back onto the black, and I want the flowers also to be sharp all the way through, and that's looking okay. And we've just got a nice dreamlike softness on the edges, so I can just bring that in, not too hard. And likewise with the groom, I'm just going to bring the edges of him in there, and we'll bring the full black in just to bring back the detail in his face and on the flowers. And I'm just going to soften down the background a little bit more and I think that's looking quite nice now.